Welcome to the Redlands Coast Business Show, a naturally wonderful place to live and a great place to do business. Featuring local business successes and visionaries, bringing tips, tricks, and inspiration to you. The podcast that embraces your local business community. And here's your host, Tony Curl.
Hey there, it's Tony Curl here from Think and Grow Business, and welcome to episode 38 of the Redlands Coast Business Show. Now, this episode is the final episode of this series of the podcast, and we certainly finished this season off with a bang. So, one of the key themes that has come about naturally during the course of this series of the podcast has been the emerging young entrepreneur having success on the Redlands Coast with their business journey. And today's guest typifies that as well. Kymmie Wyeth is from Bodyfit and Flex Pilates Studio, and she joins us on this episode. Now, Kymmie shares her business and personal journey with us and provides an incredible insight into the award-winning success of her business. Now, this is truly an episode that just should not be missed. It is a must listen, it's a must watch episode. And it's a real pleasure for me to have Kymmie on the show. Her energy was amazing during the course of the interview. So after a word from our sponsor, which is the Small Business Leadership Masterclass, please welcome Kymmie to the Redlands Coast Business.
The Redlands Coast Business Show is brought to you by tomorrow's best leaders. Increase your chances of business success by developing your leadership skills. Learn how to overcome the challenges and obstacles to grow your business. Gain more clients and profits by enhancing your skills for people connection. The Essentials for Growth Program. The Leadership Program for Small Business. It will help you grow your business and become a successful entrepreneur. Learn more at tomorrowsbestleaders.com.
And it's my pleasure to welcome to the Redlands Coast Business Show. Please welcome that dynamo from Bodyfit and Flex. We've got Kymmie Wyeth. How are we, Kymmie?
Hey Tony, hey
I'm
gang.
incredibly well and just a tad nervous with this interview today. So we were talking a little bit off air that you get nervous, and I'm thinking, oh my God, this could be like a 3-hour chat.
Look, I'm up for it if you are. I've got a lot to say.
Hey, Kymmie, tell us a little bit about your business.
Well, so at Bodyfit and Flex here, we do reformer Pilates. We do yoga, mat Pilates, balanced body, booty burn, aerial hammocks, tramp fit, stretch classes. So we have and even more. We've got it all happening here under the one roof.
Yeah.
And our passion is, under all of that, is to create strong balanced bodies by placing the body under multiple different pressures.
Okay. Strong, balanced bodies. And
strong, balanced, flexible bodies, yes.
And how long have you been doing that? How long have you been in business?
So I started with one person 5 years ago, 5 and a bit years ago now.
Excellent.
And I have a background in personal training and in competitive sports. So what I found is I was really interested in the stability muscle side and the rehabilitation side.
Yeah.
Not so much as the strength building side, and that's how I got into where I was, is by going down the reformer Pilates route, and then from there it just evolved to what it is today, which is doing multiple different workouts, different movements to help promote that, because we do see a lot of not only we don't only just see, the imperfections, or not imperfections, sorry, really bad word, injuries and the core not being stable enough. But what I'm also seeing is the stressed and being overworked side as well. So this all helps balance everything out, including the mind.
Yeah, and we see that a lot with, exercise or getting ourselves in shape physically, that it does have a corresponding impact on our mental awareness and our mental health. And to me, I think that's always a positive from doing, programs like yours and working with businesses like yours.
Absolutely.
The ability to, so when we're talking about that balanced body, it's balanced body and mind fundamentally, isn't it?
It really is. It really is. And as I know, you like to do your half marathons, you like to run with your wife, and so you guys have that outlook of, like that's your therapy for your mind, your whole body.
Yeah.
And the more we're moving, the more we're getting those good endorphins flowing, which is going to de-stress the body, allow us to sleep better. We are more inclined to eat more healthier, more inclined to drink more water, which is going to have a more positive impact on our body and less stress on the body, and therefore it's going to lower the stress in total with the body, so that when we're just sitting, watching TV, our heart rate is lowered, our stress rates are lowered, and overall we would find that we are a lot calmer as well. Very
much so.
Which is really important. So so we started with one person 5 years ago, and now we see about 400 people a week, which is really, really exciting. Really, really, I really feel so blessed to be in a position that I am. But I did do all this on my own. So I did work by myself for 2 years and slowly built up the business. And now I actually have 8 girls that actually within the Redlands work for me too. So it's really nice because they also bring their own knowledge, their experience, their strengths. Because, we've all got weaknesses and strengths, but we all different. So all our strengths are different. So it's really good because you're only as strong as your weakest player within your team. So it's really great that we can all lean against each other, learn from each other, gain knowledge from each other. And then that gives our members more of a broad range of classes, but also knowledge and also on how to work around injuries, how to work around feeling stress, how to work around, what type of muscles we need to use for running, and how can we make you stronger for doing that, or swimming or cycling. So, which is really important. So I can't do this by myself, and nor would it be as fun.
And true, and you talk about complementary skill sets, and we do need people around us that are going to complement. So, and I always relate it back when I was, leading teams or leading large teams. And if I had a team of Tonys, I knew we weren't going to achieve, because, we can't all sit around and vision our way to success, because you actually need people that can plan and then obviously do. And the style of leader that I was always that visionary brainstorm. I could inspire people on an idea, on something that we want to do, but I wasn't the best at putting those plans in place. So the same thing happens, I would imagine, with your team. If you had a team of Kymmies, it would be really loud and really energetic and really enthusiastic. But there's probably times there that, some people prefer different styles of instructors, I would imagine.
Exactly. So when I always invite everyone new to the studio, because just because you like what I'm saying doesn't mean you're going to vibe with me as an instructor. So it's really important to have different people, because some people may not vibe to my type of teaching, because I'm more of a PT type of teacher with the reformer and everything else, whereas Vicky, my beautiful Vicky, she's the opposite. She's classically Pilates trained and more of a slow and controlled. I still have those aspects, but I also have the fast and furious as well. So some people like different styles, and that's the beauty about having an incredible team, is that we can all band together, and people can pick and choose who they want to see, and they might. And you know what? To tell you the truth, a lot of clients go between a lot of the teachers because they want to create, that balanced body using the different types of classes that each individual plans. So, and also what I might concentrate on more as an instructor might be different to what someone else concentrates on as well. So No, so it's really important to have that team. One of my things is that I'm really great at like ideas and doing it and getting in to do it, but I'm not really great at being able to also do that as well as keep up with all the bookwork in the back end and my calendar and keeping up with that, because that actually gives me quite a lot of anxiety looking at my calendar. So recently I've actually employed Simone, who loves that stuff. And who would I be? I would be a mean person not to allow her to do that stuff because she
loves
enjoys it.
Absolutely.
She loves a good Excel spreadsheet.
But you've had your own journey, haven't you? So you haven't always been this
I really have.
bubbly, bright, enthusiastic, energetic business leader. Do you want to share a little bit about your journey?
Yeah, I actually get a little bit emotional talking about it, because it is, because trauma does shape you and it has a big impact on your life, and sometimes these traumas are not from your own doing. And it got to a point where I was actually having 40 anxiety attacks a day, and I actually stopped driving for 3 years straight. Like, it gets me teary thinking about it. And I was driving in a car, like I was only 19, so 19 to 22, I was driving, and I had started with one child, and then I had another child as well. And I would be in a car and my mum would be driving, and I'd be looking at someone next to me thinking how brave they were to drive in a car by themselves. That's how low I was. I was only, if you could picture this, I was only 48 kilos because the amount of anxiety that was just driving through my body every day. I'd wake up every single day with just sweating all night long. It was so tough. I'm really grateful to my husband, Ben. He never ever, and my family, because never ever did they chastise me. They fully supported me. They, they drove me, like if I need to go somewhere, or comforted me when I just felt so lost and not sure how to get out of it. And not like, because how do you go from not driving and being so secluded with little babies and, not having even the confidence to walk out the front door by yourself? It was really depleting. Completely
challenging. What was the catalyst that created the shift?
So it was just like, after 3 years, and I looked at my little ones and I thought, how am I going to get you to school? How am I going to get you to school when everyone else is at work? Because people still had to live their lives around me. And at that stage, I didn't have any friends because, I had my family as my friends, but I didn't have any friends because and people thought that I was just pushing away, but it wasn't. It was just because I just didn't know where to go. I just didn't know. How do you tell a friend, I'm sorry, I can't meet you because I'm too scared to drive there? So what I did is I actually looked at my baby, so I said, I'm going to do this for you. And I applied for a job at Mount Gravatt. So I was living at Manly at the time. So it forced me to step outside of my comfort zone, and I applied for a jewellery industry and to get in front of people every day again, and then start to build my confidence every day. And every day I drove there, I had my safe little places. Sometimes I'd have to pull over, have an anxiety attack, keep going, pull over, have an anxiety attack. But the more I drove it, the less time I had to actually pull over, the more I learnt to breathe through it, the more I learnt to say, trust my body. And just because I was thinking those thoughts didn't mean that was true. It didn't mean that I didn't deserve to live like everyone else. It didn't mean that I didn't deserve, to have the life that everyone else had. And within a year, I actually now only have 2 anxiety attacks a month now. How cool is that? That is life-changing, and is absolutely life-changing. And so when I stand in front of a big crowd, or when I'm driving in my car by myself, I'm so proud of myself, because it might seem like a small feat to other people, but it's a massive feat.
And so many people, I'd imagine, suffer from anxiety and maybe not even aware that they're suffering from anxiety.
No, absolutely not. Sometimes they just think I'm just, maybe I'm just being a bit sleepy because, being a bit sleepy because I'm tired, or, you start to sleep a bit more, or, you don't know what that feeling is inside, because it's a little bit different for everyone. For me, it's like a big adrenaline rush that takes my breath away. So it's different things for different people, and it's just learning how to breathe through it, and then just saying it's going to be okay. Just because you're feeling this wave of self at the moment doesn't mean you're going to be in it for very long. Just breathe your way, just trust it, and you're going to be okay. So, but it takes a while to build up that confidence. But I found that moving, because I am such an energetic person, and I have I found that moving really does help to calm that, the body stress down, my natural adrenaline, to get that out a little bit.
So even when you spent 3 years not driving, were you still an energetic person?
You know what? I was, when I felt comfortable. I could laugh, but I wasn't happy. I wasn't running. I wasn't doing the things I loved. I always grew up in sports. I think just the experience that I had, it just stripped me from everything that I loved, but in having gone through that experience so young, it's just really fueled me. It's really made me know that how strong I am, to get through that. And sometimes you don't realize how strong someone is to get through that unless you've kind of done that yourself a little bit too, because sometimes it is easy just to say, just you'll be fine, push through it. But
doesn't that, I mean, so many well-meaning people just say you've got to think positive.
Oh, absolutely. Think positively.
And it's
take some time out.
It's always easier said than done. So.
And it's just learning the tools. Learning the tools, seeing people, and there's nothing wrong with seeing someone. I actually still see someone. It's very, I don't see them as regularly, but it's still nice to say, hey, this is how I'm feeling. I'm checking in. These are all my stresses at the moment. What's a great process for me? How can I better this for myself?
It's about the toolkit as well, isn't it? The skills that you develop in those situations. Emotional intelligence is still one of the greatest things that anyone can do to enhance themselves. Go develop themselves, develop their emotional intelligence, create a sense of self-awareness, and it really does help everyone. And I guess the point that I'm seeing, Kymmie, is that you're probably, whether it's knowingly or unknowingly, helping people that are in similar situations with the team that you've built, with the business that you've built. I've got no doubt. And, some people will be quite open and forthright with it. Other people will be quite internal, but they don't miss a session because they know it's good for their health mentally.
Exactly. And having that space, that safe space where you can turn up however you are, and you are going to be accepted. If you're not feeling on top of the world, if you're feeling on top of the world, anything between those two aspects, you're going to be safe. You can cry, you can laugh, you can do whatever feels good for you, and there'll be no judgment. And to have one space like that is such a blessing, and it is a life-changing, because I never had that. I didn't feel like I had that. So to have that and to provide that space with someone else is, it really makes my heart happy. And, everyone here, whether they, everyone that comes into the studio is just so beautiful. Our community, our Redlands community is so beautiful. Even, doesn't matter what businesses I'm talking to, everyone is so supportive, and it's just really finding out what works for you to help yourself. Yeah. Because what works for you may not work for me.
Absolutely. So why the Redlands Coast? Why set up business on the Redlands Coast?
Do you know what? Because I've always been here. Well, I did grow up so I grew up at Browns Plains. I moved over here when I was 7 to the Manly Bayside area, and then I went to high school in the Redlands. I went to Redlands College, and so between those two places, it's just home, and I really love it. I just love the community. I love the businesses around me. I love, my friends and family. It's just a really nice, and how blessed are we? Got the Gold Coast, the Sunshine Coast, the Wellington Point, like Raby Bay. It's a really nice area.
I did some work over at Stratty during the week, Tuesday, and it was such a beautiful day. The water's just like glass, and you're heading over to like an island, and it's just magnificent. So it's just really, it's a great place to be, and I can see that. So tell me about the business community that you associate or network with. How does that help you?
Well, so where my studio is based in Birkdale, we have all the businesses within our building are like best friends, really. So it's really great because then we all support each other, and we've all got the same common goal, which is to help support and support small businesses within the Redlands. And so I find it really great because we all support each other, we all network together, we all work really well together. And also I actually joined the Redlands Chamber a year and a half ago now, and that has been really great because doing business by yourself has been so lonely. So, can you still hear me? Oh, good. Good. Doing business by yourself has been really lonely. So it's been so nice to meet so many people like yourself, learn what drives them, learn how they've gotten through the tough times, how they've gone around it, because it's nothing more empowering than learning from other people and celebrating other people too, celebrating their wins. Because as nice as it is, to get the wins by yourself, it's more nicer to celebrate someone else and just cheer them on.
We all need cheerleaders, don't we? And just those people that encourage us really in life or in business. That's one of the really key things. And you're an award winner now.
I can't. I'm still pinching myself, Tony. I'm still like, every time I look at my little trophies, my little glass trophies.
Are you saying it's little?
Well, no, they're beautiful. They're little, but they're beautiful. Sorry, little's the wrong word. They are quite generous. Every time I look at them, it actually makes me feel so proud that through all the ups and downs and the hardships. And also the long days, like working 7 days a week till 11 p.m. at night time, then getting out of bed at 4:15 to start classes at 5, or the split shifts, that it was all worth it. Because sometimes you think, am I making a difference? Am I making a difference? And those days get tough because then you got the self-doubt. And then it was just so nice to receive those awards, because it was like, you know what, you're doing really well and you're on the right path. Like, you're helping people and you're making an impact, and that's what any small business wants to do. Every small business puts their love, blood, sweat, tears, money into it because they want to make an impact on the community. And it was a really nice way to cement, hey, you're doing really good.
So on another note, have you ever felt that you were failing?
Yeah. You know what? Business-wise, I felt like I was doing okay, that I was doing pretty good, except for when I felt like, all the hard work isn't making a difference. I felt like I was failing my family though, because the more you put into your business, the less time you have for your children and your family. And working split shifts is like when they get up, I don't see my children, then there's no one home during the day, and at night time when I'm working, they're at home. So, you know, I had to make a lot of sacrifices over the last 5 years. And unfortunately, time with my children was a massive one. But in saying that, I feel like my balance is getting better because the more bigger I've grown, I've been able to ask for more help around me to lower those hours so that I can have that time with my family. So I felt like I was failing at being a mama. But now I don't feel like I am, because I feel like I've got that better balance now. Because even though I really want to be at home, I may not have had the infrastructure yet, or been able to afford the infrastructure yet to be able to support that. But now I feel like I'm getting a little bit more and more time with them, and forgiving myself that it's okay, like that it's okay that for you to also go through a dream as well. So, and like they're really proud of me, and not once do they have, and they don't have resentment or anything like that with me. Like they felt the time I was giving them was perfect. It's just that I felt like I was that I was the one coming up short.
Sometimes
for them.
we're our own worst enemies, and the harshest judgment from people is often from themselves. So, but it's important to have that balance in life, isn't it? And that balance with business and what have you. And you know, we all look back on whatever journey that we've been on, and we'll often look at the things where we didn't, we felt we didn't hit the mark. But then we missed the times to give ourselves a pat on the back where we did hit the mark. And I think that again, you've got to find balance in that. So, hey, let me just ask you, what was the most challenging thing in your business journey that you've encountered? So you started with one client, correct?
I did. I started with one client, and after 3 months, I had 60 people a week, which was like, and then I moved into a commercial space. We call it the crack house because it was a very run-down commercial space. There was like 7 layers of lino. Okay. And then after 5 months, I doubled my clientele again, so we could move into a brand new space. And then after a year, I doubled again, so we could have 2 spaces. So we see about 400 people a week now, which is incredible. And do you want me to give you the hot tip, Tony? This is exclusive. We are about to expand again.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, expand in the same place. I don't want 2 places. Like like that's just not for me. But we're going to expand our floor space again with a 3rd tenancy. So that is exclusive to Tony Kell here right now.
We can't get a bigger scoop than that. But once again, that is so pleasing to see. So you've gone from the 1 tenancy at Birkdale into 2, and now into 3. And I think that from a business growth perspective, from a building your community perspective, having your own tribe, and you know, for people to be supporting you, like 400 clients are what, you know, just does my head in, to be quite honest. So like it is like that door's on, open close. It is and do you know what, each time that you expand a little bit more or invest that money to expand, and you know, but also it's also time, because you know, the bigger you grow, the more time is going to be pulled as well. So it's always been, for me, I always sit on a decision for at least 6 months. I always make sure that I each time I always sit on that decision for 6 months. I always want to make sure that my risk is calculated, and that it's not too hasty, because what I find, well, just from listening from other people, is that sometimes we don't have that stronger foundation enough sometimes to go to the next level, and then you can sometimes get into a bit of a trouble really quickly. So I always want to make sure that I can you know, still maintain that position comfortably
without eating bread, like just bread and baked beans. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
And also,
It's about understanding what do I need to do to generate
the risk
to cover the increased investment that I'm making. So and that's really good advice for anyone out there. So whether you're looking at bringing on a new team member, a new staff member, a manager into your business, what is the investment of that, and what is the return that you then need to generate, and what is the expectations? Hey, in a perfect world, we've talked about how great Redlands Coast and the business community is.
Yeah.
If I was to give you the magic wand and say you can choose one thing that's going to make Redlands Coast grow even more, the business community, what would that be, Kymmie?
That's a toughie, Tony. Well, to be honest, I think we're pretty much on a really good track of what we're doing. To be honest, I feel like that what we're doing is pretty good. Well, from what I'm experiencing anyway. So I don't know if I have anything to add on to that, but I just feel like the more of us that just keep supporting and keep recommending those small businesses and medium businesses and large businesses within our community, the more that each of us are going to prosper from that. And I always try and use all locally sourced things, from my employees to products to other businesses. And you know what, my business, it takes a village to raise our businesses by a lot of businesses in the background and a lot of other people, and it really does keep us all moving forward. So to be honest, I feel like as long as the more that we can lean on each other and have that confidence to do that, the better we all are going to be in the long run, because crossing the finish line by yourself isn't as nice and as fun without everyone else beside you.
As we keep saying, we need those cheerleaders. So,
Oh, yes, because they really do get you through that tough time. They really do. Sometimes they just give you that light. Hey, you know what? They got through this, and so are we. It might seem like it's going to be a big problem now, but it may not be as big in the future. And that.
Out of everything that you've done in your business, what is it that you're most proud of?
Do you know what? I'm most proud of myself for being resilient and even through the self-doubt, just having my own back and just knowing that it's all going to be okay, especially through, I don't want to mention the big C word, but COVID was a really tough one for the fitness industry, because we were shut down for 73 days, and still pay my bills, which I did through that time, was really tough. And for all businesses to still be alive after that is absolutely incredible. So it really hurt my heart to see a lot of businesses shut, especially through the yoga industry. A lot of just single yoga studios were shutting all over the show, and it really broke my heart, because a lot of blood, sweat and tears and money goes into a business. And I'm really fortunate that that the Bodyfit Flex community and the Redlands community really band together to make sure that we got through it. I actually had one lady come to my house, and she had a carton of eggs, and she goes, "Here, Kymmie, this is my investment in you." And I said, "Thank you so much, I love eggs." And inside was $500. And that paid for one of my studios for a week. And that is like, things like that happened all the time through that COVID period. Beautiful. Because so if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be here. So that's why it's so important to not only give back, but to be okay to lean on people sometime through that tough as well, isn't it? So. Because sometimes we get really proud, that ego, we get scared to lean on other people.
Ego is such a, and pride can be really, I had a saying in the book that I wrote, that you don't want to be the proudest person in the morgue, because that's ultimately where pride can lead us into.
I remember reading that quote in your book, and it's so true.
So,
It's so true. Being vulnerable is
there is so much that we can talk about, Kymmie, but I'm conscious of the time. So what's the vision for you going forward? What does this thing look like in 5 years' time?
Do you know what? So we're going to do our little expansion, and that's it for me. That will be my studio, and just keep growing my foundation, and just ensuring that every single person that walks through my door is loved, cherished. They can come as they are and create that strong, balanced body, mentally, physically, and spiritually.
Excellent.
And
that's a great vision.
Is it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you know what, and it's a fun one because I really, really love, and I really get so passionate about what I'm doing. So to think in 5 and 10 years time that I'm still going to be doing what I'm doing is really exciting because you know there's going to be new ways of movement in 5 and 10 years time. So who knows what we'll be teaching here. We already hang upside down.
Well, AI can't make us move as yet, and I'm pretty certain a human instructor is always going to be better than a robot instructor. So, you know, maybe in some ways you're a little immune from technology advances.
Well, hopefully, and also is that your little stability muscles start to deplete within 2 weeks. So you're always going to need this angelic voice in your life.
Oh, Kymmie, you're wonderful. How can people connect with you?
Well, they can. Well, did you know I'm on TikTok now? So I'm on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. I'm having a lot of fun, actually. Facebook. You can see me. You can in Birkdale, in our beautiful Redlands community at the chamber. There's
heaps of ways, and I'll make sure I've got all your website, your social media links in the show notes. So I'm sure that there's people that will be listening to this saying, I need to catch up with Kymmie and get some core and stability muscles working out. So Kymmie, it's been an absolute pleasure today speaking with you for the Redlands Coast Business Show. I really do appreciate your time.
Thank you, Tony. Thank you for having me. It's been an absolute blast.
No worries.
Drawing from over 30 years of experience in growing and developing business, it's now time for Tony's 2 cents.
Now, Kymmie's a great example of how passion and energy can drive a real community. It drives and builds community, which in turn then enables and empowers business growth. Now, this is something that should not be missed by any business owner. People like being around energy and they like being around passion. And when a business is driven by energy and driven by passion, driven by a genuine care for others, it's almost an irresistible case for business success. Now, the amazing thing in our interview was, as well as seeing the vibrancy of Kymmie, we also saw the vulnerabilities of Kymmie as she shared some really heart-wrenching stories about her journey. And once again, when we allow ourselves to be vulnerable, it's amazing the connections that we can build. It's amazing the connections that we can build within our community. And once again, we get into that cycle. Community, care, business success. It forms a bit of a business cycle journey. So leaders everywhere really understand how they can build rapport with their teams by being authentic, being committed, showing genuine care, and being passionate about their role and what they bring and the impact that they have. To build a community of people that love what you do is driven by genuine care. And that learning is there for everyone in this particular episode. And I just simply ask you, how can that help you in your business journey? Once again, a huge thank you to Kymmie for coming on the Redlands Coast Business Show. And of course, as always, her links are in the show notes. The Redlands Coast Business Show is brought to you by the Essentials of Growth Small Business Leadership Program by tomorrow's best leaders. Developing your leadership is essential for your small business growth. The success of your small business is largely dependent on the level of your leadership that drives it. Leaders are responsible for productivity, employee morale, and innovation. And this program provides the tools to help leaders grow their business. This program will take you on a journey to help you lead, engage, connect, lead your personal journey to build leadership skills to help you be more productive and effective. And as you develop your self-leadership skills, you'll be more energized and driven to achieve your goals. Engage. Your leadership skills enable you to build the best team that you can. Empowering and developing them is a key aspect to building the best business performance. Connect. The way we connect with others, build relationships with our clients and our team. Building your leadership helps you connect and build trusted relationships. It's designed for your busy lifestyle with access to micro-learnings and activities monthly that drive the best possible outcomes in the most effective use of your time. And it's all brought together with a personalised coaching session monthly. Learn more today at tomorrowsbestleaders.com. I hope to see you there.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Redlands Coast Business Show. We hope you found it a valuable resource for you and your business journey. Tune in next time for more local business stories. We'll see you then.